Hey everybody, welcome to Trading the Close. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at VerifiedInvesting.com. A quiet day turned into some pretty volatile late action with the markets initially selling off on Jerome Powell's comments in his speech and then surging to the upside to close at a new all-time high. Now the kicker here is we just closed above that doji high from the 2 Thursdays ago when the Fed cut 50 basis points. What that tells me is that we could be headed towards 6,000 on the S&P 500. Let's take a look at the charts. Follow me over here, guys. What we can see here is how the markets were so quiet early in the session. Look at this, very sideways, tight little pattern here. And then look at the dump initially where the markets were kind of unsure what Jerome Powell was saying. And then the narrative shift one more time saying, nope, this is good news. This is great news. The institutions again coming out, bazookas blaring and pushing the market up. Look at this end of day move to come into the close on the day. Now the kicker is this, guys. If we take a look at the chart here, we can see very clearly that we did just close above the doji high. So let me draw that trend line across here, and you can see right here, if we flip over to the chart, you can see again, there was your doji high. Today, we finally closed above it. Now, to me, that is a bullish indicator. That's a bullish sign for the overall markets. Again, could be that we rally up into the jobs data later this week. And again, that could mean approximately a move to 6,000. Now, listen, 6,000 is not that far away, right? We're basically talking about 4%, 3.5%, 4% from here. But nonetheless, it's a very big number that will get max people bullish in the markets to kind of put max money in to give institutions that exit liquidity. All right. Now, what were big movers on the day? Apple. Take a look here. Let me walk over and show you guys this Apple chart. Incredible Apple chart here in terms of where it went. Take a look at this wedge pattern here. Let me bring it back here. There we go. So you can see this wedge pattern right here on Apple. And what do we see? It closed above that high. So Apple really the driving force today, but behind the upside. In fact, NVIDIA was down a little bit. We had a lot of other stocks that were kind of mixed. Amazon was fractionally lower, but Apple carried the day right here with a move above this key trend line, which to me means that there's a decent chance that we could at least touch this all-time high, which is not that far away. But again, look for that to be the going narrative. There was a big push to say, oh, iPhone 16. Remember just a week ago or so when it was like, oh my goodness, the sales are going to be bad. Well, now the narrative's flipped, and all of a sudden it's great news. iPhone 16 is going to be amazing, and the stock's able to push up, taking the market with it into the end of the day today. All right, other than that, folks, it was a relatively quiet day. Jerome Powell, what did he say? Jerome Powell basically said he thinks the economy is doing just great. He's expecting a soft landing. Lots of everything, right? Cookies, gummy bears, whatever you want to call it. He talked about a very bullish setup for the economy. I'm not a buyer of it. I'm not buying what he's selling, but that's the narrative that is going and pushing the markets right now. Now, Bitcoin is showing some weakness. Look at Bitcoin here, guys. Bitcoin, again, coming back in and actually selling off today, even in spite of the S&P and the NASDAQ being green by the close. Bitcoin struggling and actually may close back below the 200 moving average. That's not good, right? If there's one thing that we know about Bitcoin is it needs to perform well during market rallies. And again, not that we were up much on the S&P or the NASDAQ today, but just the mere fact that you're down multiple percentage points on Bitcoin with the S&P and the NASDAQ green, that to me is a warning sign. Be a little careful here. Something's not quite right with Bitcoin. And again, we'll see if it can correct itself by the close and close back above the 200 moving average. But again, kind of a weak showing on Bitcoin today. Now, what else was a weak showing? Take a look at gold today, and gold coming back off beautifully here. Taking a look at the chart. Let's go over here, and you can see that again, there's my resistance level at 2660, and there's your rejection off of it. And yes, I am still holding my gold short-term short, even though I have lots of positioning on the long side for the longer term. But gotta love swing trading. It's one of the greatest things in the world to be able to capture these type of levels and utilize them for both shorts and longs in the near term. Silver today, let's look at silver here real quick. Silver pulling back. Again, I expect it to still come down towards this $30 level, and then that next bull market or bull move can come. And if we look at oil today, oil continues to be weak, even though Jerome Powell telling us how great the economy is, how he sees a strong economy, everything is going well. You look at oil and you say, is that the truth? I don't know. Oil's not telling us that the economy globally and domestically is that great, especially considering it is trading near multi-year lows. But again, it's the difference between fact in terms of price action and the narratives that are being pushed on the retail investing crowd. And as always, folks, my goal and Verified Investing's goal is to give you the lowdown, right? Do what you want with it, right? Whatever you want to take from it, that's fine. But nonetheless, you can't say that you didn't know that oil was showing weak signs if the economy starts to roll over. We know that oil, again, has major traders globally that are looking at literal demand numbers daily about how many barrels of oil are being used and demanded, and that could be a signal there that something is not quite amiss. Now, remember, we do have the jobs number later this week, so let's watch and see. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., the JOLTS number, job openings, come out, and we'll see what that number is. Lastly, natural gas here, guys. You guys know natural gas was up into resistance. If we take a look at the chart, it did close fractionally green on the day, but still lots of resistance right in this downsloping trend line. We'll see where that ultimately goes. All right, so again, just to summarize, Jerome Powell gives a speech this afternoon. He talks about a glorious, great economy. He sees strength in the economy. He sees everything is so good. But then he cuts 50 basis points basically almost a month ago, and projections are at least a 25 basis points cut next in early November. So again, do you trust what he says? I don't know. We'll ultimately find out as the data rolls out. Jobs data later this week. I'm going to be watching it tomorrow in the game plan. I have some more positions to reveal on my options portfolio. I'll show you guys those. On that note, you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.